Well, hello everybody. This is Gino Gang here in our studios, our new studios, right down here in Machias, across from the bridge, across from the mobile. We're very excited to be in Machias, and welcome to the show. It's called Front Up, and it's a talk show where we encourage people from the 26 towns that we reach to come in and give us a call and see if you'd like to be a host and bring in 3 guests. I'm only bringing in 1 today, just to kick it off. And I'd like to introduce MachiasAnneMather. Is that right?
That is right.
Fantastic. Good to meet you, Anna. Thanks for coming in.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
So, politics? Can we talk a little bit?
We can try.
All right.
Okay.
You ran for state senate.
Representative.
State rep.
Yes.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was walking outside of the mobile one day, and Catherine Cassidy came up to me and said, would you be interested in running for office? And I said, let's talk about it. And so we did, and I decided that it was June, so it was already well into the season, whatever you call it, the running. And I'd never thought about politics at all, but I decided that yes would be a better answer than no, that I could learn.
Why did you decide that you wanted to do this?
Because I really care about this community.
Okay.
I really care about what's happening up here in Washington County, in East Machias and where I live. And
become credit toward the business.
Sorry about that. See, that was the problem with having the video there, but we'll cut around that. Go to that question again for me.
I really care about Washington County and East Machias. I grew up here.
Yep.
And I've seen a lot of changes happen and a lot of kind of a disintegrating of the community that I think is really weighing heavy on us. And I would like to see things be brought back in so that our communities are supporting each other within themselves. And I thought that perhaps this step into running for state representative would give me an idea more about what's going on and maybe learn about how I can actually do something for this area.
So when you say disintegrated, what do you mean by that?
Well, communities used to be, you had neighbors and neighborhoods, and you used to know what was going on with your neighbors, and you used to know you could walk next door if you needed anything. And your neighbors would know what was going on in case something came along. That's not happening anymore. We're calling outside for help, or we're looking somewhere else, and it's costing us.
Maybe it's the way life has just evolved, and it's partly due to technology too.
Sure, when you can be on Facebook and chatting with someone.
There's some sort of a social dynamic that happens there too,
which isn't bad.
Right?
It's not bad at all. But I think that in the immediate scheme of things, we could do a lot more within our communities that could help us all financially and with food. For example, if neighbors shared a garden that was really big and shared the production of the canning and the freezing or whatever, they could help each other out with that, because ultimately it could be too much food for one person.
So here, there's no community garden in Machias?
No, they tried to do one, but it didn't happen.
Why is that?
And that's Machias. I care about East Machias. I care about Machias too.
Okay, sure. But so in East Machias, they tried it, it just didn't.
No, in Machias they did try right up here on Broadway, but it was taking time out from actual jobs and work, so it wasn't really happening.
So who did you run against?
Howard McFadden was in, and he's
the incumbent.
Still is.
He still is. Yeah.
Is this his last term? So.
How did you do?
I did well. Everybody told me I did well for running for the first time, a new face. I got 36% of the vote. Yeah. And
what did he get? Were there other people? Oh, okay. It was just the two of you.
Just the two of us.
I see.
Yeah.
What did you learn from running as a first time that you ran for? Yeah.
First time I had a chance to speak with a lot of people about the issues that are concerning us. I learned that a lot of people are tired of how the government's functioning, but then I think we all know that in general. I learned how I communicate to a group of people, and I learned what issues people care about or what issues people don't care about. And I learned that there's a lot to learn and that I have a lot more to learn.
Yeah,
if I was to go in that arena.
Yeah. What would you do differently, and would you run again?
I don't know.
It's not easy to win the first time out, you know?
No, and I wasn't anticipating that I would win, really. There's a lot of work to campaign. And I don't believe in door-to-door campaigning. I think it's invasive, and a lot of people think so as well around here. We just don't like having somebody just randomly come to your door and knocking on your door and taking up your space. It's just not, that's just the way we are up here. Maybe in Portland that works, but but I did talk to everybody everywhere I went.
So what?
Just around town. Just,
okay.
Just whatever I was doing, I would bring it up and talk about it, regardless of their political leanings.
Yeah.
And whether or not I would run again, I'm not sure, because I think where politics is right now, I don't think that's what I want to work with. Republican or Democrat, it's not about the labels anymore. It's about working together. And where things are going, all the legislation you have to get through to do everything, and
right.
and it's just.
So what would you say to someone who would be thinking about possibly running? How would you?
I would say you really have to be someone who really wants to read up on everything that's going on, and be able to read through all these bills and things. You'd have to really understand the political talk. And I learned I don't have political talk. Like, I don't talk politickies.
Okay.
Whatever you want to call it.
Okay.
I speak a different language, and maybe I'm a little more out there. A lot of people thought I was a little farther ahead.
Do you sit on any boards, or are you involved in the community outside of this?
No, I'm
chance to
at
run?
that whole thing made me realize that I do want to get involved in all of that, and I want to know more. But I hadn't, at that place in my life, I hadn't been able to get, or even knowing that I could, or that I really wanted to. I knew I had a voice, I knew I cared, but I didn't know where to put it. And so it kind of at least brought me out of myself into another direction of where I could try to figure out. So I'm at the place where I am working on trying to get into going to the town meetings and just becoming more involved in those ways. Having a new baby, it's kind of...
Well, that's difficult.
That's been my campaign.
That's going to be tough.
That's tough. But it's helping me focus on what I really care about and what I really want to do. So.
I'm just curious. I have found in other places that I've lived that younger people have a harder time involving themselves in community service in the government, and they're always encouraged to run, to be more involved. I mean, you're not that old. You're young. Do you see quite a few younger folks, young people?
You see it
involved?
Across the state. There's a lot of young state representatives.
But it's not as, yeah.
They always, there's definitely this separation between the older generation, the old timers, and the young timers, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
There's a gap, but I feel like I'm able to talk to a lot of different people, but there's definitely a different way of thinking, a different mindset, and there's a younger mindset, and they clash, and I kind of would like to see a bridging. I think there's a lot of respecting the older ways, but bringing them, merging them with the new ways, the new technology. So, and being around here, we do have a lot of things. People are set in their ways. We have the way things are, and we don't want to change that.
So, do you see yourself staying here?
Yeah.
Do you see yourself? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is home. It has been for how long?
Well, the past few years and most of my life.
Okay.
I've lived away a few times and come back.
Yeah.
Now that I'm here with my children and my daughters in the school that I went to, I just would not really be excited to just pull her out of.
What school is that?
She's at Elm Street.
Okay.
In East Machias.
And then she'll go on to Washington Academy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe. I'm open to alternative schooling.
Is there any?
Well, you can homeschool.
Right. That's true. Is that popular around here?
There's a lot of homeschoolers around here.
There is?
Yeah. For various reasons.
Wow.
So, but there's not necessarily a group in East Machias right now to have that you can work with. There's other places, there's a homeschooling group that you can work together with other kids and different parents.
Now, why do you think that people are homeschooling? I mean,
well, people homeschool for religious reasons, as well as because they just don't think the schools actually are up to par to what they want their kids to learn.
Right.
I also think that our schools are set. They think kids have to be at a certain standard at certain ages, and I think that's ridiculous. I don't believe my children need to be living to some government set standards.
Right.
So I would homeschool more for those reasons.
I see.
Other than that, there's not many choices. I'd love to see a Montessori or just some alternative.
Waldorf?
Waldorf would be fantastic.
And there isn't any?
No. There's a Montessori school, but it's only for pre-K.
Oh, I get you.
Yeah.
All right. Are you involved in the school system at all? I mean, do you, the public school system?
I'm just having put her back in this year.
I'm just curious about, you know, everything's so evolved so quickly,
Yeah.
you know, with Washington Academy getting so much attention lately.
Yeah.
And all these kids wanting to go there. I
Yeah.
mean, how is that affecting the other schools, like the Machias
Well,
High School?
Everybody wants to go to WA, and so it's very big now compared to when I went there. And the grade schools, like Elm Street is apparently an independent school, so a lot of people have transferred over there, and it's the largest school, leaving all the other schools in the district with very few students and actually having to merge classes because they're so small.
All right. So, what do you do for a living?
I sew.
You do?
Yes.
Nice. Anything?
I sew almost anything, but there are certain things that are
You don't do
not
big,
fit. I don't
heavy
do
bags.
big backpack zippers. No, I don't. And
That's how I met you.
and I don't do leather because I don't have a heavy machine. But I do hems and zippers and patches, and I make things. And
How can people get in contact with you?
they can call
they
me.
want?
The
Okay.
best way is to call me.
What's the number?
It's 255-9009.
There you go.
Yeah, I'm right there in East Machias, in the oldest house in town. So.
Fantastic. Well, I really appreciate you coming in and being my first guest. Our first guest here.
Oh, I'm
It's
very
awesome.
excited to be here. I'm glad you asked me.
Thank you.
You're welcome.